Hello everyone, it's Dio from Firm Affair Gaming, bringing you another World of Warcraft video. This is another video in our M0 how-to guide series that we are doing. Today we are covering Halls of Atonement. This is a fun little dungeon located in Revendreth. So let's get started. So there's a few interesting trash pulls that we got to worry about on the way to the first boss, but the main thing that we got to do is there are 3 shards of Halkias, I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that correctly, that you need to kill in order to spawn the first boss, or at least make him targetable. So in this first trash pack, there is a depraved Houndmaster. And what you need to do here is he has a spell which is called Loyal Beast, and if he gets that off, he will enrage the 2 bears that are walking around with him. So you need to kick that. So in our group here, we have the rogue, the warrior, I have a stun, and the mage. Like, there's lots of kicks. You just got to make sure you get it off and interrupt that spell. Otherwise, the bears will enrage and will beat the living crap out of your tank. So here we're able to kill the depraved Houndmaster and interrupt it, and we're good to go. So now there are 3 shards. There are 2 located on the left, and then there's 1 located on the right. So generally you pull that first pack on the left, and then you move to the right side. It's just more efficient this way, so you can quickly back travel rather than go all the way down on the left side, as you'll see, and then you have to backtrack all the way over here. It's more efficient to do it this way. So you just kind of pull the trash, kill it. This gargoyle that we have pulled here was unnecessary. It got tagged from the side. So you can, again, with an M0, you don't need to reach 100% progression. You can skip certain trash if you would like. And so you just kind of pull through. So up here, so there's another Houndmaster there that we just killed. We made sure to interrupt the Loyal Beast spell, and now we're on to the first shard. So the shard, as they die, they put out a fair bit of AoE damage. So as a healer, you just gotta be ready for that. It's about like see there, you can see the pulsating that's happening. So that's a bit of AoE. So as a Holy Paladin, I try to make sure that I have my Holy Power max for when that starts, so that I can quickly throw out some AoE heals, or I'm Kyrian, so I have Divine Toll I can use as well. So now we got the trash cleaned up, and so he does this about every 25%, I would say. And there we go, we're just wrapping that up, get everybody topped up, and then we're off to the other side. So because it's a little bit of a run, might as well mount up, save yourself some time. So you get backtrack all the way to the start of the instance and then head over to the other side. As you can see in the mini map up in the top right, it does indicate where the shards are that you need to kill. So now we're over onto here. So this is just the second one, same as the other one. They do the same thing. So there's going to be a little bit of AoE damage that comes out when they start thrashing. Just got to be on top of that and heal everybody up. It's a little bit more problematic healing wise as you get higher up, because the damage is a little bit more, as well as you can run into some of the unique modifiers that are on the dungeons as well. And then obviously don't stand in that, the brown stuff there, it does a lot of damage. It's unnecessary damage that you don't need to take. So as usual, as it is in WoW, don't stand in stuff. Make sure you interrupt the correct spells and you're good to go. So there's the thrash again, outputting a little bit of damage. Just top everybody else up. Don't stand in that and you're good to go. So right here, generally you could just fall down and attack that pack there on the left and move down into the shard once that's cleared up. But this here is what you would need to do on an M+ run. So we're tagging that and bringing them all up so that we don't so this would be for progression as well as more space to work with. Right here, this is going to show what happens if you do not interrupt the depraved Houndmaster. So he's casting Loyal Beast. He got it off right there, and as you can see, all the bears got enraged. Now, the tank is going to be taking a fair bit of damage here, so there he is. You can see him dropping quite a bit. So then you just got to kite them away because they're enraged. That is a fair bit of damage. A hunter can trank shot them to get rid of that, but obviously we didn't have a hunter in the group. Now we're just going to clear up this little trash, and then we're going to move on to the last shard that we need before the boss. So again, here it's just pretty standard. There's going to be a little bit of AoE damage that comes out when the shard thrashes, so you just gotta make sure to top everybody up. Maybe save a cooldown for it because it does get a little bit intense at times. So I like to keep my Divine Toll available because that's my best AoE heal that I have on the Holy Paladin. And I just use that, top everybody up, store a little bit of Holy Power if necessary, just in case, for when this burst comes out, and then you just top everybody up and you're good to go. So once the 3 shards are down, as you can see, it's Halkias' anima is at the top there. Each one is worth 33 and a third percent. So after the third one dies, you get up to the 100%, and then the boss will be targetable. It is nice to have a range interrupt for these casters because otherwise they may not join group up as well. So we have the rogue had to do, I think, Garrote there or something like that to interrupt that to get them in. It's just nice to get the range interrupt because then they'll stack up a lot better and they can cleave and all that sort of thing. Now we're just moving into the middle area where the boss is. So generally on an M+, you would kill that pack there on the right that was marked with skull. You don't have to do it in an M0, but excuse me, but you would clear that in the M+ for progression as well as for more space for when handling the boss. So we're just going to clear this over by the door or the stairs here because we do have to go up there after the boss is dead. These extra mobs got tagged due to Starfall that our druid was casting unnecessarily, so we actually pick up a fair bit of extra ads throughout the instance with him doing that. It's just what happened. So we're going to clean this up and get ready for the boss. I believe we do take out this middle pack here just because it's more space and easier to work with. Oh, there's a patron behind. So we need to clear that up as well because otherwise it would aggro when we pull the boss. So we're just going to tidy this up as well. Again, that gargoyle got tagged unnecessarily. The druid was really just spamming the Starfall in this instance, and he was having a good time with it. Unnecessary pulls like that, but it happens. We're just going to clean this up, and I do believe we pull up the middle pack as well. So again, there is a Howlmaster in there. Just make sure to kick Loyal Beast till the bears don't enrage. The healer and the tank will thank you. Okay, yeah, we did skip that. Like I was saying, in M+, you would pull those and get rid of them just so you have more space as well as the progression. So on this boss, it's pretty straightforward. So he does have, as you can see around him, is that red circle. You need to stand inside that, otherwise you're getting feared, like which is happening to our mage right there. He's getting feared, so he needs to be standing in here. The healer can cleanse that, but it puts it on a 6-second CD, so he actually was standing out there a couple times, so he got feared a couple times. So otherwise, you stay within this red circle. He drops oh, and then, so this is a phase here. So as it's happening, so he does this. He's got 4 laser beams that basically come out, and they start one direction, and then he will change directions halfway through. I was unaware of this the first time I did this, so I thought I just had to move the one direction, and then it changed, and then it just killed me. He also drops on the ground there, those red pools, glass shards. Don't stand on them. You take a fair bit of damage. It's unnecessary, so you just avoid that. So basically stay within the red circle, don't stand on the glass shards, and when he's doing his lasers, move with them, and then remember that halfway through they're going to turn around and go the other way. And that's the first boss. So now he's down, so now we're just going to go up the stairs. And so with this, there is a path that so you got to pull that by the statue, and then there's that gargoyle on the back right, as well as another path that is going back and forth. You don't necessarily can avoid some of them. So here again, our druid was casting Starfall and pulled that group on the side unnecessarily, and then we got that one path that was running back and forth. The little guys, you needed to clear them up anyways, so that was all right. So we're a little bit over geared. Like if we were all fresh and into this might have been a bit of an issue, but half of us are over geared here, so we're able to handle this. But in M pluses, like if this was like an M5 or M10 or whatever, this would be disastrous to have these unnecessary pulls. You're wasting both time as well as its potential for a wipe with the unnecessary damage and healing that is needed to be output. Now we're going to mount up. So this guy pats back and forth, this gargoyle. So we're going to wait for him to go by and out of the way. Our mage was off to the side here and aggroed these. So now we got to do this. Again, this wasn't the cleanest run. There's a lot of unnecessary pulls and some damage that was taken, but this kind of just shows what happens when people aren't familiar with the instance. And, you know, the only way to get familiar with the instance is with experience. So it happens, and when you're with pugs, it happens as well. So now the gargoyle has padded past, so now we can just mount up. And so these two gargoyles on the stairs, the way they work is they alternate being turned to stone. And so if you run by it here, so like we're going to run by on the left side, and because that guy is stone, he's not going to aggro. On M plus, you do need one of them, so you would probably pull one as well, but we're just on 0, so we can skip. So you can move up while it's stone, keep tight to the left side, and then you can just sneak past them. And then on this boss, he spawns when you go up and you go near the door. Do not be standing in the middle where he jumps out. You take unnecessary damage, and if the tank isn't there, then he could punch you in the face and potentially one-shot you. So what he does here is he summons a bunch of gargoyles, so you got to stack up and AoE them down because they need to die. And then he will put a curse of stone on somebody and turn them to stone near, and so that person, like I was targeted there, you move where the gargoyles were killed, AoE down, because then you turn the stone and then he jumps on it. And when he jumps on you, as you had killed those little gargoyles before they had turned to stone, he will shatter the gargoyles that are there. As you can see, we missed 2 when he jumped, so these guys are going to come back alive, as well as when he summons more adds. And then there was old blood pools on the ground. Again, like most things, when they're on the ground, don't stand on them. So there is the stun. So you got to stand out, or we're on top of the gargoyles that were AO'd down. Then he jumps on them and blows them up. We didn't have any there. Now he summons them. So now we're going to just AoE them down. And again, when he picks the stone curse, you move into the middle, you turn to stone, and then he's going to jump on you and shatter those. So that's the boss. So don't stand in the red pools. If you get selected with the curse, move over to where you had AoE down the gargoyles and then have them jump on them and blow them up. Now we're on our way to the third boss. So we just got some trash to kill. So again, these are the depraved Hound Masters. So you got to interrupt the Loyal Beast. You got to wait from the cast. Generally, we were finding that the cast at around 30%. Health remaining, so just watch for it, interrupt it, and cast. Like I said earlier, both the healer and tank will thank you. So now on this next pull, this is more of an M plus pull. The tank is going to go forward and he's going to aggro the trash that's back there, and then you're going to kite back into this room. So the reason doing that is it groups them up, as well as it's more space here to work with. So these adds they deal a fair bit of damage and they're all casters. So as you can see there was the pools on the ground. Just don't stand in it. Interrupt as you can. And just group them up and DPS them down. So it's a better tactic to just do that, to tag them and pull them into here. You have much more space to work with, and it also forces them to group up. So if you're a tank, that's a handy trick to have. Okay. So we can just bypass these here and move into up for the boss. So this boss, basically, he will summon a spirit that will follow you around, and you need to kite it into one of the 4 pillars that are there. So When it targets you, you just run behind it. The ghost will follow you, and then it hits that, and then you go back to DPSing the boss. Otherwise, it's pretty straightforward. He does have a little bit of AoE damage with his volley. So here's a ghost. So you just want to kite that around behind the pillar like our druid is doing. And then it hits the pillar, and then you're good to go. The boss does have a little bit of AoE damage, like I was saying, that comes out. So you just kick those as often as possible. He does have some things that spawn on the ground. Don't stand in them. So here the ghost targets our rogue. Our rogue was unfamiliar with the mechanics, so he's running around. So not only is he not DPSing, but he's also not kicking. So we're getting a lot of AoE damage here. We eventually tell him what he needs to do. So there, he's still kiting it. So there's a lot of AoE damage that's going out as a result of this. So now there's two ghosts out. So he finally figures it out, stands behind the pillar, it hits the pillar, and now we can go back to killing the boss. And as you can see, like a lot of us are in pretty rough shape there health-wise. That was just a lot of unnecessary damage. But like I was saying earlier, if you don't know the encounter, there's only one way to get experience, and that's doing it. So that just kind of highlights what can go wrong if people don't know the encounter. So this is like a little mini boss. He's at the end here. He will empower or make these ads active. You just got to AoE them down. And he does gain power from them. It's just a little mini encounter. It's not too bad. So you kind of just group them up. In a Mythic+, you would assign a DPS, like a higher Mythic+, you would assign a DPS to each a quadrant. But as we're just in an M0, we're just going to first AoE all it back, and then we're going to move up and tag everything in front and just AoE it down and then go on the boss. There's no point really DPSing this mini boss right here while the ads are up. It doesn't take a lot of damage, so you just clean up all the ads and then you jump on them, and then you can move on to the final boss. Like you see, the tank is doing a pretty good job of grouping all these up. Sometimes I've been in a couple runs where aggro is a little bit hard to maintain, so things are running all over the place, and then all the DPS is running over the place because they're taking unnecessary damage. Basically, remember, if you have aggro, the best thing you can do is run to the tank, because then he can either stun or he can taunt. But if you're running away from the tank, it's hard for him to do his job to maintain aggro on the trash or boss that he has, as well as try to save you. So do everybody a favor and move towards him. As you can see, there's still more blood pools or glass shards on the ground there. Just don't stand in them. It's unnecessary damage. So this final boss is fun. So he's got these 4 statues around on the platform here. So basically, he will pick up one of these statues and throw it. And the way the statue is facing is the direction that he will throw it. And then his second phase is he'll summon the statues. He'll go into the middle and then suck in the statue. So basically don't stand in front of it. So there he picked up the statue and threw it the direction it was facing, and it hit our mage there. Now he's going to, he has a little laser there. Just don't stand in front. Now he picked up another statue and threw it and hit our druid. He's doing pretty good. He's bat 100% there. So this is the next phase. He's going to suck in all the statues. So just don't stand in front of it. And then he's going to throw them out. Don't stand in front of that and get hit. And now he's going to ritual woe. So he's going to channel into those statues. So you got to stand between them and interrupt it. So just pick a statue, break the line so he doesn't get power. And just endure the channel. So now he's going back to his other phase. So now he's just casting like normal. He's going to pick up another statue, throw it. He's 3 for 3. Hit the druid twice now. So now he's going to suck in again in the statues. Just move out of the way. Those do damage. The rogue was actually pretty tight there. I was surprised he didn't take damage while we were doing this. And now he's doing the ritual again. So pick your statue, stand in front, interrupt the beam. And there you go. So now he's down to 10%. Is he going to get another throw of the statue? I wanted to see if it's 4 for 4. And that's it. And that's the final boss. And that is how to run Halls of Atonement on M0. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know below. Have a great day.